So here's some pictures of the Alamosa City Council. You got Michael Carson right there. You got Michael Carson. You got Charlie Griego. You got Kyle Woodward. You got Liz Hensley. Christina Daniel. Jan Vigil. That's the city council, and then you got the mayor, Ty Coleman. So that is the Alamosa City Council. You got one mayor and you got 6 council people, right? You got, let's see, 1 counselor at large, 2 counselors at large, 1 mayor pro tem, 1 counselor Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3, and Ward 4. So you got 4 different districts. And then you got 2 of them are elected at large, so the whole city votes for 2 of them, and then 4 of them are from individual districts. So what's my point with any of this? Well, my point is I want to talk about how the Alamosa City Council is on some bullshit. So this right-wing Republican rat bastard motherfuckers, they're against Bernie Sanders approved DA Alonzo Payne. Alonzo Payne was endorsed by Bernie Sanders, so we got a progressive DA here in the 12th Judicial District in the San Luis Valley. Mineral County, Rio Grande, and some other ones. So you have the DA who's Bernie Sanders, endorsed. He's a progressive, which means we actually have a good man in office for now. We got a good man in office for now. Now, Ty Coleman was the mayor, before DA Payne comes in, so I'm sure that the city council, they liked having a DA that just rubber stamps anything and everything that the police officers do. Alonzo Payne, he campaigned on bail reform. I think we need jail reform, not bail reform. But there's 5 main points I want to make. There's 5 main points, okay? Alamosa City Council, they're going to sit there and say that DA Alonzo Payne isn't, fucking everybody that the cops charged with a crime. The cops accuse somebody with a crime. An accusation is a conviction. And DA Alonzo Payne isn't just slamming every single accusation into oblivion. He's being merciful for some folks. Now, I just looked at the dockets from the last, Colorado dockets search from the last 6 months in the 12th Judicial District. There's 4,406 records. There's over 4,000 records, 4,000 cases. Just some things going on today. Elizabeth Garcia, Rascon Trujillo, Serena, Jackson Bianco, Joshua Chopper, Trella Fisher, Levi Greenawalt, Judith Garul, David Larson, LV Envy Funding, LLC, John Medina, Gilbert Montoya, Oscar Morales Valenzuela, Andrew Ochoa, Ritika Reddy. This is all today. This is just the 8:30 docket. Resurgent Receivables LLC, Scott Schweizer, Christina Skinner, Zahid Sotella Areola, Sean Jury, LNV Funding, Resurgent Receivables, Rachel Salazar, LNV Funding again and again, Victoria Mastis, Kenneth Grondin, Robert Johnson, Margie McIntyre, Alberto Chaparro, Jose Gallegos, Tia Logan, Robert Lewis. Okay, so they're complaining that he's not upholding victims' rights. I think it's important that we uphold victims' rights. Victims' rights are important. So if Alonzo Payne wasn't upholding victims' rights for some people, he needs to begin now. That's his entire job, frankly. Alonzo Payne, When it comes to having a DA, I don't want a DA. Some DAs brag about how many convictions they have, how many people's lives that they fucking ruined. I don't want a DA that's just ruining people's lives left and right, a bunch of poor people, so you can go and brag to your base that you're doing something. No, I don't want a DA who's just convicting anybody and everybody for the fuck of it. I want a DA who's committed to truth, justice, and the American way, like Superman. I want them to bring peace to the society, peace to the community, because they are committed to truth and justice. They're committed to truth and justice. Just convict a bunch of people, a bunch of poor folks so you can brag to their base that they're working. Fuck that. I want a DA to brag that the community is safe. It's a nice, peaceful, safe place to raise your family. It's a nice, peaceful place to raise your family. You got opportunities and jobs, but ultimately, he's the DA, he's the prosecutor. Security, peace, justice, tranquility. I want a DA who is committed to these virtues. I want restorative justice, not the oxymoron of destructive justice. If the cops or the ex-DAs committing crimes, then they need to be convicted just like anybody else. Nobody is above the law. So Alonzo Payne has been elected to be the progressive that he is. The 12th Judicial District doesn't have a ton of resources. They can't throw everybody in jail and throw away the key for all time for anybody who's just jaywalking or making eye contact with the cops. He made eye contact with me. I think he's trying to balance things out the best way that he knows how. So if he did make some mistakes, he's going to evolve and get better. But Alamosa, you're a home rule city. Alamosa, you're a home rule city. You already have your own municipal court. You're sitting there saying the DA isn't doing enough for you. Talk about having no personal responsibility. So these right-wing Republicans, Alamosa hasn't even legalized marijuana. So for 10 years, Colorado has had, legal marijuana. But in Alamosa, you smoke a fucking joint, they'll, beat the shit out of you and then say that they're the good people. Fucking criminal motherfuckers. They're right-wing fascists. They're a bunch of banksters. Let's take a look at what's the poverty rate in Alamosa. I bet you it's 10, 20, 15% or so. We'll have to figure that out later. But I got here the court, municipal court, the court docket. So they've had several courts, municipal court. They had something in December, January, February, March. Seems like about 3 or 4 or 5 times. You got the Alamosa Municipal Court that meets up. So Alamosa, they have their own court system. They have their own judges. They got their own lawyers. They got their own attorney. They got their own courts. They got their own court buildings. I got this docket pulled up here. Alamosa Municipal Court, May 3rd, 2022. Apparently, Robert Paul Romero was resisting or obstructing, and then you got Nathan Rangel, Sarah Rodriguez, Jaden Dempsey, Mitchell, Victor, Robert Speaker, vicious animals, speeding contest, failure to stop at a stop sign, theft under $300, theft from $300 to $999, speeding 10 to 19 over, injury to property, harassment. So their police officers and their court systems are doing, what are they talking about? Theft under $300, injury to property. So they have, the DA concerns here, but we'll have to check it out later so we can see the specific things. But you got over 4,000 cases on the dockets. So somebody's being represented. Alamosa's municipal court is, arrested people and charging people. Escape from custody, theft under $300, theft from a building, harassment, injury to property, false reporting, trespassing. So Kayla Muniz, Jamie Marie Sanchez, Catherine Ann Reynolds, Bryce Jaron Greenwell, Stephen Bakke, Jennifer Vigil, Sean Thomas Finley. And this is all under Judge James McDonald. So they got Judge James McDonald. He grew up in North Hollywood, California. Oh, look at this. More liberal activist judges. He attended St. Charles's Borromeo Elementary School in Crespi Carmelite High School. He received a political science degree from the University of California at Berkeley. In 1989, he received his Juris Doctor degree from Vermont Law School in May 1996. Judge McDonald has practiced law in Colorado since November 1996. Judge James McDonald was appointed the Gunnison Municipal Judge in May 2005 and continues to serve as the city of Gunnison in that role. He served as adjunct lecturer at the Western State Colorado University from August 2014 until May 2017. He was appointed as the Alamosa municipal judge in December 2017. Judge McDonald was married in 1995 and has 2 daughters. His hobbies include fishing, hunting, reading, and golfing. Poorly. So that's Judge James McDonald. They have a judge. They've got an attorney, too. They got a city attorney, a city judge, a city court. And they're saying that the DA for the district, the 12th Judicial District, which has 6 counties in it, isn't doing enough. They could do everything in-house. They could do everything internally. So Alamosa is a home rule city. They already have their own they have their own judicial system. If you don't like how the DA is running the judicial system of the 12th Judicial District, Alamosa, then just fix your own court system. What the fuck? Also, cops can get advice from the DA with a written request. If you're a police officer and you keep arresting folks, they said narcotics. What? Fucking marijuana? Fuck you. That's not narcotics, you fucking assholes. Bunch of backwards, regressive assholes. That's what Alamosa is. They're pissed off that a Bernie Sanders endorsed DA got elected. Even the Democrats here, they are a bunch of right-wing conservative fucking dickheads. In Conejos County, at least. In Castilla County, they let the Nazis. So Alamosa, instead of just fixing their own city, they're going to take the DA away from all 6 counties. Alamosa hasn't legalized marijuana yet. They're backwards, regressive assholes. So what? You're throwing marijuana fucking people in jail and he ain't fucking... They're partisan as fuck. I don't know how many Republicans were on council, but I bet you the majority are, fucking Republican. I bet you 4 out of 6 of the city council is Republican. And that's the majority, at least 4 out of 6, and maybe the mayor. So that's what, 5 out of 7? 5 out of 7 at least? And what if it's 7 out of 7? So 7 Republican assholes, and they're using taxpayer dollars to do political shit. We already had an election. So they might get their recall election, and then when Alonzo Payne wins that election, then he's going to be the DA for the rest of his life. He's going to be the DA for the next 50 goddamn years. The dockets are full. It seems like somebody's rights are being upheld. Over 4,000 people have been charged with crimes, so are we just, arresting the victims and the criminals are going, doing whatever the hell? That could be possible. These lawyered, privileged assholes, they pretend that, they get on this side of the team. They don't care about the law and doing what's right. Milton Friedman Capitalist says that there's no deception or fraud. So just the plutocrats and the lawyered wealthy, that's the only people who have rights? No. Victims, we need to take care of the victims first. That's the whole goddamn point. That's the whole goddamn point. So Alamosa could take care of their own problems. The Alamosa police officers can write the DA and say, what are the laws, that you find to be a priority? Or they could say, okay, here's 6 laws we think are important. Do you disagree? And then they could get from the horse's mouth exactly, get on the same page as the DA. He says that and that and that is illegal, then you can arrest people for those things. If you don't know yet, arrest, at first and then find out later. And hell, just arresting somebody, that's punishment. It's not like you didn't punish the person. But I think they're a right-wing, partisan, fascist banksters. They haven't legalized marijuana. And Alamosa just feels like a cold fascist town besides Walmart and, Arby's and Long John Silver's. I don't think that Alamosa doesn't have jack shit to offer anybody. They're turning the Alamosa City Council. They also double the fines. They just passed a bunch of laws and then double the fines on all these laws. So they're just fucking totalitarian, fascist. They keep on passing more and more laws. The best government is the government which governs least. That's Henry David Thoreau. The best government is the government which governs least. And you would think being conservative, you wouldn't want big government. But this is big government using democracy against itself. They're being against democracy. D.A. Payne's been in there for 1 year. He's been in there for 1 year. And there was one woman that made a big stink about it, but basically, Jesus Christ. A white woman tried to stand up for herself and got ignored, and then she had to, go to the attorney general, and then eventually she got heard. And good for her. She was going through some shit. People weren't listening, and then eventually people were listening. But she says it's all Alonzo Payne. So just that fucking lying asshole. She says all the cops and all the judges was on her side. So if you're being stalked and you have 100 cops and, a dozen judges that's on your side, how can that guy get away with stalking you? Oh, the DA wouldn't do did you have evidence? The DA didn't? It's all him. Fuck you. Fuck you. White woman, you got police protection. That's nice, white woman. You got police protection? God damn, I live in a rural area, so when I call the damn police, if somebody's fucking with me, because I got a stalker, some fucking Nazi, Robert Pickrell, and some other fucking Nazis out there. Robert Pickrell needs they're way too cozy with them goddamn Nazi child rapists over there by the Labato Bridge in Costilla County. So when it comes to, crimes and victims' rights and shit, yeah, you're supposed to stand up for the victim. I want restorative justice. So Alamosa can, they need to get their shit together. They want to be totalitarian fascists. You're all for big government. You're for big government because you want your cops to get rubber stamped. Any and every accusation a cop fucking throws at somebody. Nothing wrong with being merciful. So she's a liar. That woman had all the judges and all the cops, so that means the cop posted up at her house. She had the protection, serving and protection. She had all the cop services and all the judge services that a person could possibly want. But because one man said, nope, I'm not going to do anything about this, then the whole thing was just dropped and it went nowhere? No. She eventually got heard. A white woman didn't get heard and then she got heard. Okay. Well, I think it's bullshit that I have to sit here and let motherfuckers do shit to me, and if I act like I'm going to do something back, then you motherfuckers say that's wrong. If you know right from wrong, if you know truth, justice, peace, the American way, if you got any virtues whatsoever, it's easy to see who the good person is and who the bad person is. But a lot of times the criminals want to fuck with vulnerable people, and so do the cops. They're men. And men can't empathize, and they have no emotional intelligence. They drove, an hour later. Oh, yeah, an hour later somebody was doing shit, but you didn't do your fucking job, and you got out here too goddamn late. Now, because I'm yelling at you and saying, where the hell were you? Now you're going to find a fucking reason just to harass me and send me to fucking jail. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I should be protected by the law and the system and the police officers just like anybody else. So when you motherfuckers tell me who killed Tecumseh, when you find Robert Pickrell and you ask him how come him and, the Kevin and Troy Zinn and Kenny Capin and whoever the fuck else is out there, why were they harassing the shit out of me? When you stand up for truth, righteousness, and justice, then I'll fucking hear what the hell you're saying. But right now, all I can hear you saying is, what, a white woman didn't get heard for once and then she did get heard? Okay, I haven't been heard for 40 fucking years, motherfuckers. So Alamosa could take care of their own goddamn problems. They should probably legalize marijuana and chill the fuck out, right? Legalize marijuana, you pieces of shit, and chill the fuck out. Quit being a bunch of partisan motherfucking right-wing, fascist, totalitarian, big government, anti-democracy, using democratic tools to destroy democracy. Jesus Christ. Cops can get advice from the DA. You want to get on the same page with the DA, then write him a letter. But if you just want to go after the DA because Bernie Sanders endorsed him and you're a bunch of right-wing pieces of shit who hate marijuana and hate the wolves. Oh no, they legalized marijuana and they released the wolves and they're passing casino stuff and the dockets are full. The dockets are full. That's, for the past 6 months, but we can check out the dockets later on, but that's just a couple notes.